Today on Riffs, Spirits, and Gear, we reshell a Marshall 800. I have had this amplifier, which I affectionately refer to as the Reno 800, since January, and you guys actually haven't seen it yet, except on my Instagram or something like that, because it's actually been in the shop. But we'll get to that in a second. I thought I would tell you the cool story behind this amplifier and why we are going to change out the head shell. I was on tour in Reno, and a friend of mine, John, who's in the band we were out with, the home team, he had a friend who was looking to raise some money, and he was getting rid of a 2203 Marshall 800 for 700 bucks. And he told me about it, and he was like, yeah, I could totally bring it to soundcheck if you want. And I thought, well, that's a really good deal for an 800. So John brings it to soundcheck, and I see it and how insanely beat up this amp is. And I immediately tell him, nope, not interested. Never mind. I don't want one that bad. And we plugged it in to my 212 cab, and it sounded magical. It was insanely good sounding. Apparently it's been modded by some kind of electronics house in Reno for a little bit more smoothness. I don't know much about the mod myself, but it seems to have a little less harsh high end than my stock 2016 JCM800 reissue. So I don't know, maybe we can make a comparison video or something like that at some point. But anyway, I get the head back home and I take it to my tech, who kind of goes over it, and he actually informs me that it needs an output transformer because it's totally smoked. I also did notice at the time that out of the 4 output tubes, only 2 of them seemed to be cooking and getting really hot, and the other 2 seemed to still be brand new. So there was probably a problem, and but that was okay, because I got it for a really good deal. The only thing I really know about this amp is it was owned and used in an all-female punk rock band, I think from LA, that toured with Rancid a lot, apparently, from what I'm told. And once the band split up, one of the members who owned this amp moved to Reno, and she sold it on Craigslist, and it's now in my possession. I have no idea what band or anything like that, but it's a cool story. So now that I got the amp working and sounding great, the head shell has some issues. The corner of the amp, the shell itself, the joint is actually coming apart and broken. So the head shell itself is kind of coming apart slowly, and underneath where the handle screws in, it's completely cracked all the way across. So the handle at any point is going to pull through and this top is going to break. It's time for a new head shell. So I went to search for head shells. They're probably really plentiful, right? No, not for the JCM style heads. You get lots and lots of plexi style shells and replacement stuff and kit stuff, but almost absolutely nothing for the JCM line, which I thought was really interesting. Eventually, someone sent me a link to my old friends at Mojo Tone, and they make a JCM800 head shell replacement to Marshall spec. And I thought, you know what, now's as good time as any to send an old email to Mojo Tone. And they were actually really helpful and able to help me out. Apparently there's small differences between the 50 watt and the 100 watt heads, so on and so forth. I wasn't able to take any measurements because it was off in the shop when I contacted them, and I just told them, build it like an 80s vintage head shell and we'll figure it out, because this is an 85, this is not a reissue. So yeah, we'll just see what happens. And this is actually what came. This, oh God, you can't see me. This is the replacement head shell. I wanted it to kind of resemble Zakk Wylde's signature Marshall head, because I always thought the Blues Breaker front was really, really cool. I couldn't find a small logo. Marshall logos are incredibly hard to find for some reason. I don't know why that is. And I put this on myself. Yes, I know the Marshall kind of dips down ever so slightly right here, kind of goes, it's saggy. It's a sad Marshall. but that's okay because I did it, and these are incredibly hard to locate accurately on the head shell with no template. So I thought we would see if this thing fits. Let's just do it. Ow. Let's see if this works. The proper way to put the chassis in is put it on its side. I know that. All right. That's the new head shell replacement. I really like it. I think it cleans it up a lot. Yeah. Big shout out to Mojo Tone for helping me out with the head shell. I will link down below in case you have your own JCM 800, 900, 2000, what have you, and that you want to re-head shell for any given reason, or make your own kit amp or whatever, because honestly, there's not a lot of JCM head shell replacements out there, and Mojo Tone makes quality stuff, so it's a win-win. All the links down below in the description. You've been wonderful. I've been Flo. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.